place where legends are made. Taupō, New Zealand. Where the land speaks in the language of the Maori. This year, the inaugural IRONMAN Pro Series comes to a close. The battle has raged across continents. Athletes have come from every corner of the world. The spirit of endurance runs deep. The women rise. 2 days of racing, fearless, unstoppable. The men chase glory. Every stride, every pedal, every second matters. An Ironman 70.3 champion will be crowned. The season ends here in Taupō, New Zealand. History starts now.
In the heart of New Zealand's North Island lies a place born from fire and shaped by water. Lake Taupō, where the earth still whispers its creation. Here the forest hums with mana, the spirit of life. Steam hisses from black stone. Rivers carve their path through moss and memory. The Maori call this place home. To them, the water, the wind, the mountains are all alive. It's something you feel. It lives, it breathes, it remembers. In 2024, Taupō, New Zealand is the host of the Ironman 70.3 World Championship and the final race of the inaugural Ironman Pro Series season. Since 1985, this magical place has been a fixture in the triathlon world, hosting Ironman New Zealand. The course is centred around the country's largest lake and features lush rolling hills, volcanic landscapes, and ancient cultural sites.
I think it's very significant that the 70.3 Worlds have come down to Oceania. I think we've got a rich history of producing great triathletes and then just putting on great events. As someone who grew up down in Oceania and raced and was introduced to the sport down here and who has raced in New Zealand, I think it's amazing for the sport and for the tri community in New Zealand to get a world champs in their own backyard.
Taupō just has such a rich history in triathlon with one of the first ever Ironman events here in New Zealand, and it's just a historic race. It sort of gained momentum as well, having been put off from 2020. So obviously COVID happened, we didn't get to have it then. 4 years later, now we're finally getting to race here.
It's been a long time coming. A lot of these athletes qualified in 2019 before the world kind of was turned upside down, and we're finally here, 2024, and there's a lot of excitement just because of all that time, but then in the season, it's middle of December. We've never had a world championship this late, so you have athletes that have been looking for this day, age group, and pro athletes, like this has been their A race for the entire year, so there's a ton of positive energy coming in Taupō.
There's an eerie calmness over Taupō this morning. The lake is still, as if the land itself is holding its breath before the storm. The spirit of the Maori moves in the hearts of those who will rise to meet this day. Today, the stage belongs to the women. The best in the world gathered near this volcanic lake, ready to test their strength against the land, the elements, and each other. Because here in Taupō, the battle for the World Championship is not just a race. It's a reckoning with the spirit of this place. What begins in silence will end in triumph. A Among the favourites, all eyes turned to two-time defending Ironman 70.3 world champion and 2024 Olympian Taylor Knibb. A third straight world title is within reach, but far from guaranteed.
My coach said, okay, before you start, close your eyes for 2 breaths and smile and realize that you've had a good season regardless of what happens. To be able to stand on any start line and be like, I've had a good season regardless of the outcome, you're kind of playing with the house's money.
Because behind her, the challengers are gathering. Kat Matthews has been the most consistent athlete this year, with tape-breaking performances at Ironman Texas and Ironman Vitoria-Gasteiz, and a second-place finish at the Ironman World Championship in Nice. Kat is the strongest opponent that could challenge Taylor for the win.
Yeah, I felt I was really nervous, and I think I forget sometimes that that's what it should feel like, you know, when it really matters. I've done a couple of races this year where it hasn't mattered so much, and I think I've been a bit too calm about it. So yeah, going into the swim start, really, really nervous.
Short course specialists Paula Findlay, Ashley Gentle, Julie Deron and Imogen Simmons are also major podium threats. Today, legacy and fortune collide, because the winner of the Ironman Pro Series will also be crowned. And with that title comes a $200,000 bonus prize purse that could redefine a season. Kat Matthews is second in the standings behind Jackie Herring, but danger looms close if Kat is unable to cross the line. Herring, Wilms and the hometown hero, Hannah Berry, are all hungry for more.
There's so many emotions being at home and having the Māori welcoming happening. You can really feel it and you can use that energy, but you also have to think about controlling it a little bit too, not getting too overwhelmed.
Māori welcoming is quite emotional, and I think it really helped me get in the racing mindset too. So to have something like that start the World Championship was incredibly unique and emotional, and yeah, what a privilege.
World championships and world titles change people's lives, and so when athletes are lining up and you know what they're going through, you know the mental game that they're trying to bring to the table, you know that the work that they've done to get there to start with. And so yeah, it's kind of like it's goosebumpy sort of moments when you're like, wow, someone's life's about to change, big moments are about to happen, and that can't help but make the atmosphere pretty electric.
The 2024 VinFast Ironman 70.3 World Championship in New Zealand is underway.
Taylor Knibb surges to the front, with Imogen Simmons right on her heels. Behind them, Sarah Perez-Sala, Lotta Wilms and Rebecca Clark form the lead pack. Just seconds back, the chase is on. Julie Deron, Marta Sanchez and Ashley Gentle driving the pace in pursuit. Further behind, Kat Matthews and Paula Findlay lead a third group, fighting to keep the leaders within reach.
Start of the swim was quite intense. Lots of girls going for one buoy, so I was used to that, and I was happy to settle in the front pack and have a good swim in the feet of other athletes.
I knew that the start and then obviously the first 300 metres to the first buoy was the most important of my whole day. If I mess that up, then the whole day becomes a real mental stress, and actually I found myself swimming quite well.
Taylor Knibb took it out really fast, really quick, which was a little surprising because we had Lotta Wilms, we had Sarah Perez-Sala, Beck Clark, a number of other really good swimmers. I was sort of surprised to see her, the aggressor, so early. The sun coming up played a little bit of havoc in the women trying to sight their way back along the straightaway before turning into shore. Taylor, I think, had a lot of trouble sighting because you could see they were kind of snaking and they weren't taking the direct line.
It wasn't a great swim for me, I would say. So when the gun went off, I was a little on the back foot, I felt like. But I got out quickly and well, And then we went around the first turn buoy. I was looking and I saw the buoy probably like 50 meters that way. So I think I dragged the whole field off course.
Yeah, it looks like the group that had sort of separated itself at the onset with Lotte Willems, Taylor Knibb, Beck Clark, and Sarah Perez, they've got company now. They bridged back up, and it's a larger group.
I think I got extremely lucky because a gap opened up of like 20 meters. There were like a group of 4 or 5 girls who would have come out before, but they messed up their line, and we got kind of lucky with a fast swimmer coming through who pulled us through to the front again.
For the age group athletes, it's the moment they've dreamed about, trained for and chased for years. Every early morning swim, every long ride, every sacrifice has led to this. Standing shoulder to shoulder on the start line of the Ironman 70.3 World Championship. Today, they're part of something bigger, the culmination of countless personal journeys, all converging here in Taupō. Among the hundreds on the shore stands Hannah Eden, a businesswoman, new mum, and global fitness personality. Known for her fiery energy and relentless drive, she's here chasing something deeply personal. For Hannah, this race is more than a test of endurance. It's proof that reinvention is possible, even in life's busiest seasons, showing that no dream is out of reach when you're willing to put in the work.
It is just so energizing, and gratitude is oozing through my body that I get to do this with my family here, and so soon after having a baby is something that I'm really proud of and so grateful for.
This side just brings me like Costa Rican vibes. I don't know why.
I'm Hannah Eden. I'm a mum, I'm a wife, and I'm a CEO and a boss of lots of different businesses that we've got going on in the fitness space. I've always had an absurd amount of energy, like too much energy, and growing up without having a space to channel that energy landed me in some pretty bad places. I was not fully Asian, so I couldn't hang out with the Asians, but didn't really understand where I belonged. I felt like I was a misfit, so I acted out. But there was the age, the awkwardness of being a female, not really feeling comfortable in my skin or in my body, and so I fell into a really heavy eating disorder and had a really unhealthy relationship with food and with my body image. That darkness showed up in another version when I first went to college. Had a serious substance and addiction issue that I managed to figure out because I fell into fitness again. So I started to recognize this pattern that fitness seems to be this tool, this outlet for me of trying to chase this high or whatever it is that I'm trying to find in other areas of my life, and it helps me channel the darkness that I embrace that will always be here, but when it's placed in the right space can actually be a massive strength. Back in 2012, I decided to start a social media account. I had just found CrossFit, had changed my life significantly, had this insane transformation, and I started to document the journey and share it with people online. And I started to recognize that the people that were watching and the people that were following my journey were women. And I was like, wow, what an incredible place for me to have this empowering position to be able to empower other women. I share the things that I think that a lot of women feel, think, and experience, but keep to themselves and then spiral internally, So I say that out loud and share that, and through fitness, because that was my modality and my channel, I started to help other people too. Fitness is, of course, about the workout, but for me, it goes so much beyond that. Becoming a mom has been the craziest experience. And then it hits and it's like, oh, whoa, I'm not in control of my body anymore. Everything's starting to change. What does life look like after a baby? My ultimate priority in life is being a mom. But I wanted to go against the grain and then challenge that concept of, am I just a mom? Like, I have spent the last decade on this self-discovery journey and have recognized that I need and want a challenge. Physically, mentally, spiritually, I need to be pushed outside of my comfort zone to feel myself, and that's what gets me going. Why can I not do that while having a baby? So 3 months postpartum, January 1st of this year, I said I'm going to sign up for an Ironman. If I train right and find the right coach and do this the right way, I'm going to prove to myself and get back in touch with the people that I'm catering my content to, of being a beginner, learning something new, and with consistent hard work, discipline, time management, being able to achieve something that I thought was absolutely impossible. It was 1 year postpartum, and I knew that it was going to look different, right? I'm breastfeeding at the start line before I get in the water. That's consuming the fuel that I've already eaten for breakfast, right? My body's producing milk. I'm still covered in hormones to be a mom and to be this food source for my child, right? So I knew things were going to be different. I had 2 bike bags, and one of them had a breast pump. And you know, it took me 11 hours and 44 minutes, and I, at that point, was feeding every 3 to 5 hours. So I needed a pump and keep my milk supply up. Does it mean that I get to do both? Yeah, so I'm cool with that. And to hear someone say like, Hannah, you are an Ironman, I'm like, yes, yes I am. Like, this is so cool. Baby's at the end line, family's there, my parents were there, which was such a big deal for me. The person I grew up watching doing Ironmans is there, and just having the support from the community of strangers as well as family was probably the coolest thing I've ever done. To be surrounded by the best women in the world and getting to this is such a privilege. I think it's such an opportunity and such a blessing that I'm extremely grateful for. There's such a level of respect and admiration that I think that's extremely motivating. I'm doing this to prove to myself that I can do hard things and I can do more. Like, I am a mum, number one, but I'm more than a mother. Like, I'm me, and I know that Hannah needs these things.
As the field approaches the final turnaround of the one loop swim, both chase packs converge on the leaders. Sarah Perez-Sala emerges at the front, with Taylor Knibb now sitting in 5th.
Yeah, it looks like Taylor was sort of heading left at the exit there, so she messed up. She is not with this front three. We're seeing Sarah Perez-Sala, we got lots of Williams, we got Beck Clark.
Whilst there was that bit of a break in the water, it kind of came back together at the end. But by the time you've run that 400 metres into transition and up the rank, it was just like a continual stream of athletes, and now they've got to sort themselves out on the road.
When it comes to 70.3 racing, Taylor Knibb reigns supreme. A ruling queen on 2 wheels, relentless, efficient, untouchable. She's rewritten the record books with some of the fastest bike splits the sport has ever seen. Here in Taupo, Knibb wastes no time. After a 24:30 swim, she charges to the front within the first 2 miles of the bike. She knows the challenge before her, to claim her 3rd straight 70.3 World Championship.
Taylor basically took no time. She busted out of transition and just got to the front, and then next thing we knew, she had 30 seconds. Then it was out to a minute, then it was out to 1:30.
I knew that the hill at the start was very optimal for me, because then hopefully that would break things up and I could get away. I may have gone a bit too hard the first 5 miles, but I got a little bit of gap, and so that was optimal. But then the rest of the bike, it was just kind of flowing through the course.
Knibb, a group of strong cyclists are in pursuit, with Imogen Simmons riding in 2nd, followed by a group of 10, including Gentle, Theron, Sanchez, Pollet, Matthews and Finlay, pushing the pace to manage the gap to Nib.
Imogen Simmons and Kat Matthews and Paula Finlay initially looked like she was going to be a trio, but then it ended up being Imo and Kat Matthews, who were that duo, riding really strong together, and they weren't giving up too much time to Taylor.
I guess Taylor went off and there was like quite a few girls in between. I just saw her go and I was like, no one's going to be closing that gap anytime soon. I know Taylor well enough to know that. And if you're not there, you're not there.
Imo really broke the group up, so I went with her and she did a majority of the work on the bike, and it was just head down, stay, aero, push, a lot of power on this course. There wasn't too many other factors really, and the time went pretty quick, to be honest. It wasn't the best bike I've done, but it wasn't that bad.
At one point I was like, right, enough's enough. Time to go, time to put some pressure on and see who comes with me. That was a risk I had to take. So I was in a good position, but I kind of burnt a few matches early on in the bike, trying to get myself up to the pointy end of the race, which I did, but the dynamics are quite different. It's like one big lap, and eventually we formed a little bit of a group, but then with the 12-metre draft rule and just trying to keep everything legal in a bunch of athletes is actually really difficult sometimes. You had to, really high power then really low power. So yeah, it was different racing to what I was used to this year. It was the best that I had on the day, so I can't be displeased with that.
I had to tell myself multiple times during the race, you have to trust that you are doing the best that you can in this moment, and that will get you to the finish line as quickly as possible. And even the last 20 or 30K, I felt like that could be a decisive moment in the race. And when I rode that section, I was really excited about it because it just sucked. And that means that that's an awesome place for people to break.
Out on the roads of Lake Taupō, the age group women rise. Powerful, determined, and driven. This is where inspiration meets determination. Where mothers, daughters, friends, and colleagues alike become warriors. These are some of the fastest, fiercest women you'll ever see, proving that strength has no limits here in Taupō. Hannah Eden is in her element on the bike course. Racing by feel and positive energy, Hannah shows the world that with a strong self-belief and the support of her family, anything truly is possible.
Riding has always been something that's my favorite modality, and it was really special. It shows that if you train, you can enjoy it and be present and lift your head and look around, and I was just soaking up the scenery. What an epic place.
Rolling in now, 7.5 minutes on that main pack. Holy cow, this woman is rolling today.
Taylor Nib charges toward T2, the crowd cheering as she arrives with a commanding lead over Imogen Simmons and Kat Matthews. She dismounts, smooth and sharp, every movement deliberate. There's no hesitation, only purpose. In seconds, she's out on the run course, 13.1 miles to destiny. What stands between her and a third consecutive world title isn't distance. It's the will to hold on.
So I had 4.5 minutes in T2. That put me in a very good mood heading out into the run. Maybe too good of a mood, because I felt like I took the run out appropriately. But I think in retrospect it was too fast.
Simmons hits T2 next, with Matthews close behind, and the battle for second is on. Matthews wastes no time, catching Simmons early in the run and immediately carving into Taylor Nib's lead. The chase is alive. 8 minutes back, another fight is unfolding. Deron, Paul, Gentle, and Finlay stream into transition, each chasing the final spot on the podium. And it's Gentle who strikes first. finding her rhythm early on the run. The race for the top spots in the world is far from over.
When I got on the run, I was wasn't sure, that for those first few steps you really analyse like how your legs feel, and I was like, oh, I think I got lucky here. Like, I feel good. And another goal was to really commit to the first 5k, go for a 1:15, and if you blow, you blow. It's either the podium or it's 34 minutes back for the Pro Series win.
I mean, I know Kat. I've raced her enough to know that she is an absolute speed demon on the run, so it didn't really honestly faze me when she went past me. I was like, well, this is going to happen sooner or later the better, but there we are. And I knew that if I wanted any chance of getting in that top 5, then I just had to run semi-decent.
She came charging up that hill. She looked great, so I think she's eating into Taylor's lead a little bit, but more noticeably, she was running away from Imogen and holding that gap over Julie Duron, it looked like.
By the halfway mark, Kat Matthews has clawed back a full minute from Nib's lead. By mile 8, another minute. The gap is closing, but will Matthews run out of real estate?
A minute and 15 seconds is still a very long gap, so it wasn't super close. Actually, one of my goals a few weeks ago, when I was after Nice and focusing on this race, was I wrote down on a little post-it note, like, get closer to Taylor, and that was my only goal, reduce the gap.
Behind the leaders, Ashley Gentle begins to pull away from Julie Duron and Paula Findlay. Known as one of the sport's best short course runners, Gentle charges forward, hitting a blistering 6:06 per mile pace. Late in the race, she makes her move on Duron and Simmons, surging into 3rd place.
Lots of people were urging me on, had lots of support out there, and yeah, once I kind of got a sniff, I think that helped me kind of kick into gear, and I kind of sat in behind her, regathered myself a bit, took a few deep breaths, and then made sure I actually really attacked. I didn't really want to have a run battle with her. I wanted to make sure that when I passed decisively. A few moments after that, I was thinking, okay, calm down, don't go too fast, don't blow up.
The finish line in Taupo is ready to receive the athletes. It's where the spirit of this land meets the heart of the race. The roar of the crowd echoes across the lake, a sound that feels alive, ancient, proud. This is where the journey ends and something greater begins. For the women of the Ironman 70.3 World Championship, Taupo's finish line is sacred ground, the end of a battle, the start of a legacy.
Here you have it, ladies and gentlemen, the 2024 Ironman 70.3 World Champion, Taylor Knibb.
Taylor Knibb has done it. She breaks the tape in 3:57.34, becoming only the second athlete in history, beside the great Daniela Reed, to win 3 consecutive Ironman 70.3 World Championships. A performance for the ages.
The day that I say I am 100% satisfied with my performance, I think I will seriously question whether I should continue in this sport. I need that perception, because if you think I've had my best day of my career already, it's kind of depressing. And you always have to have that hope, and you might be right, you might be wrong, but you have that hope that the better days are ahead of you. And I think that you want that in life and in sport.
Kat Matthews crosses the line just 57 seconds behind Taylor, claiming 2nd place. She caps off an incredible Ironman Pro Series season. 2 runner-up finishes at the World Championships, first in Nice and now here in Taupo. A season defined by consistency, grit, and sheer determination.
Coming through the finish line, I think, having really just destroyed myself in those last few K as well, there was definitely the moment of happiness and satisfaction and pride, and honestly there was quite an overwhelming noise. Everyone was just, that whole street just lit up.
Ashley Gentle powers across the finish line in 3rd place, rounding out the podium with strength and perseverance.
I'd like to think I had more cheers than everyone else, but I honestly think it was pretty well distributed. Talking to everyone, no matter what part of the globe you're from, everyone was super well supported out here.
She is your 2024 VinFast Ironman 70.3 World Champion, Taylor Knibb.
Imogen Simmons crosses the line in fourth in 4:05.12, holding strong after a relentless chase. Close behind, Julie Duron takes fifth in 4:06.02, a display of courage and pure resolve from start to finish. Every step, every mile, a testament to the toughness and heart it takes to compete at the very top at the Ironman 70.3 World Championship. Now it's the age group athletes on the run. Thousands of women chasing their own finish lines on the world stage. Each stride tells a story of courage and transformation. Because sport changes you. It pushes you to new levels. It builds confidence and a community that lifts you higher. These women are proving that strength isn't defined by time or title, but by the will to keep moving forward. Among them, Hannah Eden, an entrepreneur, a new mum, and an unbreakable athlete. She embodies what this day stands for, balancing it all, breaking barriers, and showing that the same fire that drives you in sport can change the way you live, lead, and love.
I was happy, I was good, I was singing, I was soaking in the views, and the crowd was so supportive, the energy was there. Yeah, the last 3 miles were hard for me. I had to really push through.
On the streets of Taupō, the crowd roars. Families, friends and fans lining the course, cheering for every woman closing in on the finish line. Because here, at the Ironman 70.3 World Championship, it's a celebration of strength, sisterhood and the unstoppable spirit of women.
For me, this race holds purpose. You know, I've now got 2 halves and a full in 1 year under my belt with a newborn, and it holds so much purpose. To do something so out of my comfort zone and that is not at all something that I've ever exposed myself to, anything is possible. And with hard work, a strong mindset and discipline, you can achieve anything you want if it means enough to you.
Early morning light hovers like a veil over Lake Taupō. The air crisp. The kind of morning that feels alive with possibility. Today, it's the men's turn. They've trained for this moment all year, the World Championship. One race, one chance to rise above the rest. While Taylor Knibb was a strong pre-race favourite in the women's race, there are several top contenders who could take the men's Ironman 70.3 world title.
The men's field is, it's fire. Let's start with the hometown favourites. I mean, Kyle Smith, he's a local boy from Taupō, has had career best form this year at this distance. He will be highly motivated. He will have marked this date on his calendar from probably 2 or 3 years ago. Powerful athlete across all 3 disciplines, so he's going to be right in the mix. I think Hayden Wilde, obviously Olympic silver medalist from Paris. I think unbeaten at this distance. The 2 times he's raced the 70.3, he's just, he's clean shop. He's won by considerable margin. He is just, in my opinion, on the men's side, probably across all distances, maybe the best triathlete in the world this year.
Belgium's Jelle Gaines and France's Leo Berger, both Olympians, won't make it easy for the others. The short course specialists are the only 2 who might match the Kiwis stride for stride when the race hits the run. And lurking in the mix, Germany's Rico Bogen, last year's breakout star in Lahti, winning at the 2023 Ironman 70.3 World Championship. The youngest and fastest 70.3 world champion in history. His bike power and closing speed is nothing short of lethal. While that front group battles for the world title, Gregory Barnaby, Matt Hansen, Matthew Marquardt, and Christian Hogenhaug are locked in their own fight. A race within the race for the inaugural IRONMAN Pro Series podium. Everything is on the line. Hometown heroes, global contenders. It all has the makings of a race for the ages. The sun breaks over Lake Taupō. Out on the horizon, a waka glides towards shore. Its paddlers moving in rhythm, steady and strong. It's more than a ceremony, it's a calling. For generations, the Maori have honoured this land, this lake, this spirit of determination. Today, that warrior spirit lives on, in every athlete who stands on the edge of the water.
I think everyone appreciates it and respects the culture, and it's really like a cool little sentiment to the race here in Taupō, and it's just it always gives you some shivers down your spine when they present you the haka and then you're ready to go, and just really makes you feel homely, and kind of in some ways it amps you up, but also kind of makes me relax. You feel grounded and you feel like you're ready to go and ready to go to war, and that's what we did.
The world's best lineup here. Olympians, seasoned veterans, and fearless newcomers, all ready to test themselves against one another. In Taupō, there's no hiding. The shoreline is lined with fans, families, friends, and fellow athletes. Race morning tension cutting through the morning chill. And behind the pros, thousands of age group men wait for their turn to dive in, to chase their own version of greatness. It's proof of what dedication, discipline, and belief can build. The anticipation builds, heartbeats quicken, eyes fixed on the ripples of the water. This is the IRONMAN 70.3 World Championship, where legends are made and dreams are tested in the heart of Taupō.
And with that, we're underway. The 2024 VinFast IRONMAN 70.3 World Championship.
It was full on. We're talking front group athletes that are the best swimmers in the sport, but when you put that kind of firepower on the starting line next to you, it's something that you're gonna have to deal with. And Mark Dubrick went super strong to that first buoy with Gregory Harper on his heels, and those two Americans were swapping turns and pushing the pace, and with rough conditions and that caliber of a field, it really broke things up.
To split up the swim probably a bit more than we probably expected. You look at the women's race, the men's race, it was calm to our rough. Was with the front pack and a kind of a good position, and there's a few guys, I think they dropped feet on the lead guys, but essentially just strung out, and it was just a big pace line, and it was on, which was cool.
The swim start was actually maybe the worst part of my day. It was quite hectic and I didn't have really a good start, but then after first buoy I could really move up, and then saw Kyle Smith and Hayden Wild were with me, and I was like, okay, I'm definitely in a decent position.
A lead group of 4, Mark Dubrick, Josh Amberger, Leo Berger and Greg Harper begin to string out the field before Harper surges to the front just past the halfway mark.
Actually, I talked to Greg the previous week. We saw each other at the pool. I understood he made the trials in 2012, I think, for the Olympics. So I wasn't surprised to swim with him at the beginning of the race. And he set a pretty high tempo at the last part of the swim. He dropped me, and I wasn't gonna burn too many matches early on in the race, but the race was on.
The surface of Lake Taupō erupts as hundreds of age group men surge into the water, arms churning, hearts pounding, chasing their own world championship dream. These are the fastest age group athletes on the planet at the 70.3 distance. Former university athletes and weekend warriors turned world-class competitors, forged by early mornings and endless miles. but all are driven by the same fire, to test their limits on one of the most beautiful and demanding courses in the world. Among them is Nathan Martin from New Zealand, a proud son of Taupō and of Maori descent. He carries the spirit of his ancestors, warriors who lived by courage, discipline and heart, guided by faith, family and the fire within. For him, this is a tribute to his heritage.
Having the haka really just lifted everybody, and I felt a sense of, okay, it's time to do this. It's just this silent kind of battle when you're out there. Nothing's said, but you can feel the sharing of something special with all other athletes as we're making our way through the water. It was a real moment. And so yeah, the swim, magical.
Welcome back to the closing meters here. We've got a massive lead there for Harper off the front, and then the chasers doing well.
As the men surge towards the swim exit, Greg Harper emerges first, setting the tone for a fast day in 21:48. Just 12 seconds behind, the trio of Berger, Amberger and Dubrick presses forward into T1, followed closely by a formidable chase group. Rico Bogan, Hayden Wild, Kyle Smith and Yella Gaines, all within striking distance, less than 20 seconds off the front. American Matthew Marquardt is the only surprise. Typically a powerhouse in the water, Marquardt comes out 1:13 down and is in trouble. Unexpected leg cramps have put his IRONMAN Pro Series podium hopes in jeopardy.
Right when I got out of the water, my legs were pretty weak and actually took a tumble. Pretty much as soon as I got on my bike, both my quads completely seized up and I couldn't even pedal. At this point, I'm almost dead last in the bike, and the race is already far up the road, and so I was able to then pedal for a little bit, but I was only able to do very low wattage for, 10-15 minutes, so I was bleeding a lot of time there.
The bike course through Taupō is as breathtaking as it is brutal. A 56-mile test that winds through rolling countryside, past volcanic hills and into the heart of New Zealand's North Island. In the early miles on the bike, a pack of 8 that includes Berger, Wild, Gaines, Bogan and Smith has formed. Just 20 seconds behind, a small group of 3 that includes Mathis Margerier, 4th at the 2023 Ironman 70.3 World Championship. A large chase pack of 15 are holding steady at 40 seconds back from the leaders. Margerier is burning matches to bridge up to the front.
Early in the bike ride, when you have a group of 8 or 10 athletes in that front group, once it's kind of established after 20K, and you look over your shoulder and you see Leo Berger is there, you see Yella Gaines is there, and you see Hayden Wild is there, and you're a strong cyclist with a good run, you don't want those guys to be there. So you want to push that pace as much as possible. So for me, from what I saw in that group, Mathis Margerier was the athlete that was up front, really trying to be the pace setter and set a consistent hard pace on the climbs. He was just kind of getting after it.
The first 30K is quite hilly here, it has some steep bunches, and the guys, the strong bikers, really tried to break it up. I think Kyle and Rico both went to the front, they pushed the pace, but I felt great and I never really had a problem, and took the lead for a bit as well towards the more technical section at the back end of the course.
I was expecting to suffer the whole day, and I wasn't disappointed. I wanted to make the first part of the bike hard with the front guys, and I was quite impressed by so many people working so hard on the bike, and the level and the density is getting so high at the moment that it's almost impossible to break the pack of a pack of 8 athletes, because they are just so good.
30K to go is kind of where the race starts, and found myself in a real good position, feeling really good on the bike. Haven't done obviously a half in a year, was in Melbourne, so I didn't know how the body would respond over 90K, but it felt really good.
And there's dynamics that are going on in this chase group. You have the leading IRONMAN Pro Series athlete, Gregory Barnaby, in the front of that group, trying his best to try to win a world championship and bridge up to that front group. And for most of that ride, there were 75 seconds to 90 seconds. And after a few K early, Christian Hogenhaug catches that group and goes to the front. And Gregory Barnaby has been used to riding and racing with Christian Hogenhaug all year and hoping to finish on the podium of the IRONMAN Pro Series with him. That upped the pace in that group.
Like I had kind of two scenarios in my head. One was to like bridge the gap to the front fast or ride a bit more conservatively. And I chose the second option to ride hard but steady because yeah, for me this race was all about securing the third place in the series. Maybe 20 minutes into the bike, I heard that my quad was in problems, and from there on my mind set kind of shifted to like I was gonna chase second place.
At mile 50, the front pack of 8 has broken free, their lead stretching to more than 2 minutes over the chasers. On the final climb, Margerier launches one last surge towards T2. A bold move before facing a 5-minute drafting penalty that could cost him everything. But it's the hometown hero who steals the moment. Hayden Wild takes the lead on the final descent, surging into T2 in 1:58.51, posting the fastest bike split of the day. The crowd erupts, the roar of New Zealand pride echoing through Taupō. The stage is set for the run, and an entire nation is ready to carry their local son home. Out on the rolling roads of Taupō, the age group men are deep in the grind, a blur of carbon wheels and determination cutting through the wind. Every climb tests resolve, every descent demands nerve. It's a silent battle measured not in words, but in watts, where pride, pain and purpose all live in the same breath. Among them, Nathan Martin rides like the wind off Lake Taupō itself, fierce, fluid, unstoppable. For him, every pedal stroke is more than racing. It's a tribute to his Maori roots, a way to honour his father and his people who carry him forward. Out here, he's not just chasing a finish. He's carrying a legacy across the miles.
Ko Tongariro te maunga, my mountain Tongariro. Ko Taupo nui a tia te roto, my body of water is Lake Taupo. Ko Ngāti Tūwhare Toa te iwi, my tribe is Ngāti Tūwhare Toa. Ko Nathan Martin, aho, and I'm Nathan Martin. My dad's Māori. He traces back to Ngāti Tūwhare Toa. He grew up in Tūrangi, which is about 40 minutes down the road from Taupo. We always were connected by his mother, which was my nan. The main thing growing up for me in a Māori family is that it was always about people. It was always about doing things together. When everyone comes together, there's just a special bond and feeling you get that you're part of something and you belong. The power of working together is pretty important, and it's deep-seated in the Māori culture. Classic Māori saying, which is kia kaha, means simply be strong. And so I think people can use that anywhere in their life, whether it's a challenging situation at work, at home, on the sporting field, and definitely during Ironman, that's going to be needed. I had this addictive personality, and anything I decided to do, I would go full steam at it. And so when it was some of the not so good things like the excessive drinking, the drugs, the gambling, those sorts of things, they were just done to the extreme, and I just was in this rut. For about 6 years I did nothing, got out of shape, got unhealthy, and just continued to escalate in this bad behaviour. I'd become a personal trainer at this gym, running my own business, which I had no idea how to do. I started to meet people who lived by setting goals and were really passionate about it, and they would always just come in with this energy to our training sessions, and they'd share what they were up to, and I just thought, this stuff's amazing. Like, I didn't really know anyone like that growing up that was this much of a, I'll call it a go-getter. So yeah, I've ended up 10 Ironmans now and qualified for Kona, which was just crazy. doing that and qualified for 70.3 Worlds. But the thing I'm most proud of is, personally, is my kids getting to see Dad here. And one of the things I realised early on was that importance of a role model in your life. And so bringing them here to the World Championships, to Taupō, to their homeland where their ancestry traces back to, their ancestors are from, them doing the Iron Kids run. I'm so excited about it. Dad, we're doing the Kids World Championships, and the Iron Kids is, it's fantastic to be able to do that together. They receive their taonga. They get to see Dad do it too, but it's about everyone here, because everyone's got a story and a journey they're on, and I think it's really special for everyone to come together, especially in Taupo. Yes, my interpretation of what Māori culture offers to the world, that's what Ironman offers to the world, is a special taonga and this feeling that you can't really put words to. It's about what you want to do with it, and yeah, so for me, passing it on to our kids is the most important thing. Whatever you do in life, you can use that idea of helping others as a driver, then you'll always do well.
Holy cow, the way Hayden Wild ran out of transition, he already has about 100 yards on the rest of the men.
Out onto the crowd-lined run course, Wild is a man on a mission, leaving Geens and Smith scrambling to hold his pace. Behind them, Berger and Bogan are already bleeding time, nearly a minute back through the first mile. By mile 3, Berger fights his way past Smith into third, but the damage is done. Geens is still 35 seconds ahead, and Wild is gone, charging into the distance as the crowd roars him on.
The town was crazy today, and the hometown advantage, being a Kiwi, was absolutely huge. And you could see that it was Kiwi, and it was local Taupō athletes. You had Kyle Smith, who lives here. You have Hayden Wild getting off the bike first, having a gap, watching in awe, like the rest of us, at just how fast he was running at the front of a world championship. It was insane. And watching the crowd lift him up, in some ways it certainly is a benefit, but it can have you get a little bit ahead of yourself.
I got onto the run and was feeling really good, probably too good. I was in one of those moments where it was really hard to slow down. I had about a minute lead, and then essentially just hit a brick wall of just fatigue. I think the body just wasn't ready to do that sort of pace. I wanted to go out there with no regrets, and I wanted to race on my terms, and went out there and paid the price for it.
In the fight for the IRONMAN Pro Series crown, Barnaby hits the run nearly 4 minutes behind the race leader, close enough to taste the series win. Hogenhaug, despite serving a costly penalty on the bike, is still in the hunt, less than 5 minutes from the front, refusing to let the setback define his day. But for Marquardt, the gap tells a different story. More than 15 minutes down into T2, the dream of a top 3 finish in the IRONMAN Pro Series is slipping further away.
It was really just kind of trying to survive as much as I could and do everything that I could to just kind of fight and stay in it. Then started the run and was starting to have side stitches, and legs obviously didn't feel great and whatnot. And so it was really kind of just a battle through. Was definitely the closest that I've ever been to quitting, because it's just so hard to come back from what happened at the start of the bike.
By mile 10, the tension on the Taupō course is thick. Wild out front, the crowd willing him on. But behind him, Geens is coming, patient, merciless. The Belgian has timed it perfectly. Step by step, he begins to reel the Kiwi in.
Because the roads are quite long and straight here, so I could very often see him, and I also, from people telling me the gap, I knew that it was staying around that 50 seconds for a while. it made me like keep pushing, and overtook him and pushed a little bit, and yeah, saw the gap. And well, still it was hard those last 2K, but I just stuck to my pace, and a pace that I knew I wasn't be able to run to the finish line.
So Leo Berger was one of the athletes that people were expecting to do great things. He was just behind Kyle Smith, who was behind Jelle Heens, and then our early leader, Hayden Wild, and man, he was just consistent. Didn't look flashy, and it wasn't like this big story, and it wasn't something you looked at and you were in awe, but you're like, oh, that guy that's out there in a sun hat, just cruising, dang dude, he's running pretty fast. And then 10K later, dang, he's still running pretty fast. And you know, eventually that consistent pace would have him move in front of Kyle Smith and get in that podium position.
I tried to pace with my own pace, because I knew Jelle and Hayden would start very, very fast. I didn't have the level or the fitness to do it as well. I decided to have the best pacing that I could to secure the podium, and to see in the end if I could close the gap to Hayden, because I understood he was having some troubles to get to the finish line.
Now the 2024 VinFast Ironman 70.3 World Champion goes to Belgium's very own Jelle Heens in a smoking time of 3 hours and 32 minutes. Wow, what a celebration. Well earned today.
Yeah, it was a bit surreal, I guess. Well, there were also so many people as well, like standing there and wanting high fives. And I actually also was like trying to find where my partner was, because she said before the race, if you have time, come and give me and our daughter a kiss. I had like a few moments, like when I passed Hayden, where I like started thinking about I'm gonna win, and then I was like, no, stay in the moment, focus. When I took that turn to go to the finish shoot, that I was really like, yeah, this is it. I'm gonna win this. I'm gonna be world champion. I've done this sport for so long, and I had a lot of ups, but also a lot of downs. It's really, I guess, all the sacrifice that me, but not only me, but also the family gave for that it actually came to fruition, and I won. Yeah.
Hayden Wild charges down the finish chute to claim second place in 3:33.22. An incredible performance on home soil. The crowd erupts as their local legend crosses the line, a moment that will live in New Zealand's sporting memory forever.
You know, if I had to compare it to a finish line, you know, I feel like it was actually more electrifying than the Olympics, you know, 800 metres out. You know, it's 4 people deep all the way down, and you know, giving me the amps as well. And you know, I was like, yeah, this is a vibe. And you can't get that sort of crowd impact from short course racing. The weather was great, and everyone was out. You know, it was so good. It was an absolute day for it.
And rounding out the podium with a powerful run to third in 3:35.08 is France's Leo Berger. The consummate competitor, once again proving why he belongs among the world's best.
I'm really happy and proud of all the people who supported me this year, and I couldn't do it on my own, obviously. My girlfriend and my coach and all my friends training together every day, so it takes a village to make this performance happen. So I'm really proud of my team.
As a stream of competitors complete their 70.3-mile journey, the final standings of the inaugural IRONMAN Pro Series take shape. With a gritty 9th place finish in 3:40.14, Gregory Barnaby secures the overall victory, etching his name as the first ever men's IRONMAN Pro Series champion. Christian Hogenhauer pushes through to 17th place, enough to claim the final step on the series podium. His consistency across the season is rewarded. In true Matthew Marquardt fashion, he crosses the line utterly spent, leaving every ounce of effort on the course. His 35th place finish in 3:56.19 is a heroic display of heart and determination, landing him just off the IRONMAN Pro Series podium in 4th. As the pro men celebrate their podium finish at the 2024 Ironman 70.3 World Championship, the age group men are deep into their 13.1 mile run. The final test of a long and demanding journey. With cheers echoing through Taupō, this moment marks the culmination of an incredible season of Ironman racing. Each athlete carries a story of perseverance, sacrifice, and relentless dedication. Here on the shores of Lake Taupō, the best age group men in the world are fulfilling their dream of performing on the sport's biggest stage. 15 years after completing his first Ironman 70.3 in Taupō, Nathan Martin finds himself running the same roads where his Ironman journey began. It's a full circle moment, every stride bringing him closer to the dream of finishing a world championship on home soil. He races with the pride of his Maori heritage, the love for his family, and the strength of his ancestors across these sacred lands.
So that was probably the first time I started to get emotional and started to feel the wairua, the spirit. It's just a feeling that overcame me of this is a really special moment. You could feel the power of the water, the power of the land, and it was drawing us in, and it's a feeling that you're going to do something, maybe something you've never done, something that you don't get in everyday life, that you're here to experience, the gift you're going to get from the race. And just looking down onto the road and just seeing the amount of people that were there, and I thought, wow, this is something like nothing I'd ever experienced, and I just thought this is the world champs. To have Rose and the kids there to celebrate that with me, and this one was special. I think it is coming back here to Taupō, showing them what you can do with hard work. Having my dad there was epic. One of the things we do in the Māori culture is the hongi, which is the sharing of breath, acknowledging respect and acknowledging being in each other's presence. So it's a very special part of the Māori culture. I was really blessed to be able to share that with Dad at the finish line today.
The VinFast Ironman 70.3 World Championship in Taupō marks not just the end of the 2024 Ironman racing season, but the grand finale of the inaugural IRONMAN Pro Series. A first of its kind global tour spanning 20 races from April to December, with $1.7 million on the line. Athletes could race as often as they dared, but only their 5 best results would define their destiny. What unfolded was nothing short of epic. A season-long battle that turned every start line into a high-stakes showdown. For many, it became a race within a race, where consistency, courage, and endurance mattered as much as a single podium finish. And in the end, on the women's side, one athlete rose above them all. Kat Matthews, with her trademark grit and precision, delivered brilliance from start to finish. Her second place in Taupō and runner-up performance in Nice seals her dominance, amassing 20,761 points to claim the first ever women's Ironman Pro Series title and the $200,000 prize. A season of power, perseverance, and history, written by one of the sport's fiercest competitors.
For Kat, I think it doesn't matter the occasion, it doesn't matter the course, it doesn't matter the time of year. She's consistently strong in all 3 disciplines. That is an impressive year that she's put together, and she has that mixed bag of feelings where I want to win a world title, and 2 silvers this year is going to leave her hungry. It's just going to keep pushing her, and it's going to evolve her as an athlete moving forward.
It does feel special because obviously it's such an accumulation of good results rather than just one good day. I need the sort of long-term satisfaction of this last 8 months, you know, from back in April in Texas. Triathlon Insights did a good stat that it was like 97% of the points available. So if I ever got that on a test score at school, I'm sure I'd be pretty pleased. So I really hope that this has shown not just how exciting it is for us as professionals, the Pro Series, but for, you know, the whole community watching it, and these battles, like you say, within the battles. I was very aware of where Jackie was, where Lotte was, so it's been really great to race the same girls as well all year.
The American Jackie Herring, a 15-year pro and mother of 2 young children, drops 1 spot to finish second in the IRONMAN Pro Series standings, with a win at Ironman Hamburg, 9th in Nice and 18th in Taupō.
The Pro Series was a great motivator for me. It was just a super cool challenge, just to put together that many solid races. Who knows where you have to travel to complete the races, and doing that with the balance of the kids and family life and just trying to deal with the ebbs and flows and training, and it went overall well. Obviously, I learned a lot about myself and my family and what we can handle. It gave me great confidence that I can still do hard things. Even though I've been racing for what feels like ever, I still got some good races left in the old legs.
Dutch triathlete Lotte Wilms, with 3 podium finishes in 2024, a top 10 in Nice and 20th in Taupō, moves into 3rd place on the leaderboard, narrowly edging out the Kiwi Hannah Berry. The chase for the men's Ironman Pro Series podium was even tighter. Although Gregory Barnaby was in 1st place in the standings heading into Taupō, he needed to secure his place on the leaderboard. His consistency to score well in 5 races put him on the top step of the Ironman Pro Series.
The Ironman Pro Series definitely delivered, and we all knew it was going to come down to the last race of the year, and it was going to come down to every second, and these guys put it all out there today. And Gregory Barnaby, consistent through the entire season, amazing results amongst some crazy competitive fields, consistent over all the disciplines, which is what we were looking for in a champion. Coming across the finish line, top 10 at another world championship, $200,000 more in his pocket after today, but winning the Pro Series.
I'm not that kind of guy that just goes out there and win all the races, so the Pro Series is just amazing for me because it rewards the consistency throughout the year. In a certain way, I was like really believing that I could win the series because I know I can be super consistent. I mean, to be the first Pro Series champion, I feel like, yeah, finally I've really achieved something in my career and kind of got that little piece of history in triathlon, I think.
Christian Hogenhaug held firm in 3rd place in the Ironman Pro Series standings, finishing less than 95 seconds behind Patrick Langer, who chose to sit out Taupō after claiming his 3rd Ironman World Championship title in Kona.
I know to myself that if I do the best I can, then I'm really not allowed to be disappointed in a way. Then of course, directly after the race, you're always a little bit disappointed if your placing wasn't as you had hoped, or like the time to the front as it was in this race. I think when I get home and have a sleep, then I'm probably gonna be proud tomorrow. I think we all had our favorites for this series before the season. It just played out in totally different. Patrick was also like way outside of top 3 in the series, and then he had like his amazing performance in Hawaii, and suddenly he's up in the top again. It's really cool what I really like about the time aspect. You really have to fight even though you're on a bad day, because in the end it could end up being a few seconds or minutes that's decisive. For next season, people are kind of aware of that you don't have to have a perfect score in your first 2 races to be at the point at the end of the season. I think it's gonna make for some really interesting races. Yeah.
Matthew Marquardt, entering Taupō with 4 of 5 scoring races, had one final chance to earn big points and break onto the series podium. His breakthrough season fell just short, finishing 4th overall, 6 minutes and 36 seconds, or 396 points behind Hogenhaug, but it cemented his place among the rising stars of the sport.
It's definitely been really challenging because I feel like every single race has put me into like a really dark spot and really kind of pushed me to my limit. I've always been so close, but not quite. So like, I think that's, you know, kind of challenging, but obviously I've still had really good results and have been able to put consistency because of my ability to push through those hard times. And so I think at a minimum, I guess I've probably developed a reputation as having pretty good grit, so I guess there's that. So next season will be the Pro Series again, and next year I think will be even harder to do well in the Pro Series because there's a lot of big names that say that they're gonna do the series next year, and so it'll be a nice challenge, and we'll see how it goes, and you know, hopefully just keep getting better, and we'll go from there.